Hi everyone and welcome to Mercy Mogusu channel. Today I'll give the highlights what has been happening in the Kenyan economy. So actually, what has been happening? The industry lobby Kenya Bankers Association said risks in the economy including skyrocketing inflation, weakening currency, falling forex reserves and falling revenue collections would filter into the banking sector, dampening prospects for the entire year. Kenya inflation for September rose to 9.2% from 8.5% in August, fueled by fuel and food prices. The Kenya Revenue Authority has failed to meet its prorated revenue targets 3 months into the 2022/2023 fiscal year, largely due to the deterioration business environment and inflation pressures that have forced consumers to cut on spending. President William Ruto's administration ascended to power on the platform of economic recovery and empowerment of the economically disadvantaged majority.
Some of the best brains and advisors in the Economic Council, Devin D, for example, look at the things he usually says. I mean, he looks unpopular, and sometimes you even feel like the government is not listening to him. But why would you think that the president's advisors are not doing the right job?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about advisors because you and I don't know what is happening behind closed doors. We are talking about what is visible to us.
What you're seeing, the results.
What we are seeing,
yes.
What we are seeing is that this government has decided they are going to deal with their problems of raising revenue by squeezing us more, causing us more pain. And I'm saying that they will not achieve it. The goals that they are setting as targets to get revenue, they will not achieve. So we'll be back in the same problem that we are today, in a month, in 2 months, in 1 year. And it will be worse for us. Because then, default and other situations will not be up to us. It will be the world that will be shutting us down.
Okay.
Now, I propose that we deal with the debt directly.
Okay.
As an expenditure, we cannot afford to see exiting this country while our people are hungry.
I'm coming to that. Before we took the break, you mentioned about countries that have defaulted.
Yes.
You mentioned Sri Lanka at 90, of their revenue, Ghana at 70. I'd like to take those two examples. And right now, our total collection, looking at the March-May collection, is about 90% or 80%, 80% of our total 80%. Revenue, right? So we're already in that threshold.
Yes.
So what happens? Do you think this is where we're headed now, to default as Kenya?
Let me tell you, that is the most obvious thing. And I think we have enough signals. Enough signals. You have Moody's, which I saw you address earlier.
Yes, could you bring it up? We have the Moody's source. Probably as you explained, yes. They'll bring it up, yes.
Now Moody's,
yes,
May the 1st, comes up and says, we have a warning on Kenya. We have a warning. Its B2 rating cannot last. Okay, that was the first signal. May 13th, they come up with another signal. Now, it has gone from B2 to B3.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
You can see the credit ratings. There you go. Now, we have been on B2 for a long time.
Okay.
Which is the amber color, high risk credit. Now, we were at B2. So May 1st, Moody's says, warning. We are blinkering. Now we are now getting to the 10 seconds before it turns red. And we go to May 13th. And May 13th, they tell us we are now at B3. And the reason they say is because Kenya is going to default on its sovereign risk, on its bonds, on its commitments outside this nation.
Is that?
That is what they said, that we are now having serious liquidity problems. In other words, we're not raising the revenue to meet our commitments of debt, and they are now saying we are in the last few seconds of the amber color. As you go to traffic lights, there's the amber color. We are now at the last few seconds before we get to C, which is red, and that is now default status. They have another indicator, which they did this last weekend, where they flagged 3 banks, KCB, Equity, and Co-op Bank. And they said these banks, which have been at B2 status, are now downgraded to B3. The reason? The amount of money they have put in government securities.
Are these bankers, people's money, or
Yes, it is people's money.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
People's money.
It's our money.
Yes.
That they have put in government securities. And they're saying that they are now at risk of defaulting on our money.
What does that
In
mean?
other words, they are going to close. They will not be able to pay us what they owe us. That is what it means. It means they are going to collapse.